We hope you've been enjoying dinner. Would like to especially thank our board who's with us tonight. They've been with us, a lot of them, for the past 2.5 days. A lot of valuable advice, a lot of energy they bring to campus, their desire to connect with the next generation and also to meet more of our faculty staff. And our board chair, who's been sitting at our table, would like to ask him to stand so we can thank him for his leadership of our board. So, Greg Connors. Greg supposedly runs a law firm that just opened up the 4th office in Syracuse. Started in Rochester and Buffalo, and then Manhattan, and now Syracuse. It's a workers' comp law. If you watch the Buffalo Bills, you'll see the Connors and Ferris advertisements. It's a key part of their strategy. But the amount of time he and Carolyn Clark, our vice chair, have put into leading our board is deeply appreciated by all of us and will have a lasting impact. Their advice was to introduce faculty, staff, and students through the dinner last night as well as this night. So I'm first going to turn it over to our provost, our VP of Academic Affairs, Beth Ann Doby, who will MC the introductions working with our deans. Beth Ann.
Hi, everybody. It's so nice to be here, and nice way to end a couple of days of meetings to relax and meet some people. So I'm going to call up the deans to introduce our students and faculty are here, but I want to start with Brian Sullivan. Would you stand up? Our Dean of Libraries. And I'm going to introduce the students from the College of Business who are with us. So Justin Rydell. Justin, are you here? Okay, thank you. Justin is a junior in the College of Business, and he's an accounting major. Caitlin Rieger, where are you? Yeah. Caitlin is a sophomore. She's a marketing major, and she's also on the women's soccer team. Alyssa DeMilo. Alyssa is studying business administration, and she's here on a Steve Hines scholarship. Thank you, Steve. And Alyssa, you're on the basketball team, yes? All right. Victoria Cramp. Victoria, if you want to come up. Victoria is one of our MBA students. And you also got your undergraduate degree here, yes? In 1920. Sorry. So Victoria's here. She's doing her last year of eligibility on the dive team, and she holds several AU records in diving.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Victoria Cramp. Like we said, I did my undergraduate through Alfred University. I got my degree in marketing and minors in accounting and communication studies. I am currently doing my MBA in business sustainability here, finishing my last year of eligibility on the dive team, as well as enjoying boxing club. It's been a fantastic journey at Alfred. I love the environment. I grew up in Hornell, New York, so adjusting to college life was no problem. Alfred is very similar. I chose Alfred over Nazareth. They tried to recruit me for diving. I was actually just speaking about how I went on my visit to Nazareth, and I specifically told them I was a younger senior and I did not want to go out to any of the parties or anything. I was just there to look at the school, look at the swim team, and see what I was going to be going into, because I almost went there. I almost signed that enrollment form, and they took me out, and I really experienced what they were truly like and understood that Alfred was the place for me and these were the people for me. So I called up one of the divers and said, I'll be calling Brian on Monday. I'm coming to Alfred. And it's been fantastic. The professors have given me so much opportunity to do everything that I've wanted and to relate all of my projects back to the real world and help some small local businesses in Hornell. So I've really had large opportunities to network and start my own things. And I did take a year off because of COVID. So during that time, I stayed home to help my parents with their restaurant, but I found myself a little bored not being at Alfred, so I took it upon myself to recruit some local business owners and start a nonprofit in Hornell as well. So I used my time wisely, and I've come back to Alfred to gather some more skills so I can better that environment as well. Thank you.
Gabrielle Gaustad, would you introduce our people from engineering?
Thank you very much, Beth Ann. So today I am thrilled to introduce some additional students from engineering. First is Vasily Maximov. Awesome. Vasily is actually an international student, originally from Russia, but actually was in high school in Newcomb, New York. And that is where Dr. LaCourse's brother was his mathematics teacher. And I love this story. During one of the mathematics courses, I guess Dr. LaCourse's brother might have been struggling a little bit, and Vasily corrected him, and he said, well, would you like to come teach the class? And Vasily said, well, yeah, sure, I will. And he got up and started teaching the class. And so luckily he said, you know, you're a pretty smart guy, I've got a great place for you, and that is how he ended up here. He's double majoring in glass science and computer science while he's here, and he's on a Marlon Miller scholarship and is a first-year student. We're thrilled to have him. Another student I'd like to introduce is Wyatt Keith. So Wyatt's a sophomore material science and engineering student from Sydney, New York. He's actually a linebacker on our football team. In fact, just a couple weeks ago, he had an interception for a touchback, which helped us secure our win against Kalamazoo. Woo! And engineering and football are both in his blood. His dad was an alum here, was a ceramic engineer and a football player. So Wyatt, do you want to just come up and say a couple words? Thank you.
Hello, I'm Wyatt. I just want to give special thanks to my Dean Gaustad and James Jordan. I'm on scholarship with him. I've had an awesome time at Alfred so far. What really drove me to come here was just how unique it was. You know, the campus is great, the people are great, and I also had the chance to get a material science engineering degree and play football, so it's pretty clear where to go. So, yeah.
Giving me a hard time over there. I'm also thrilled to introduce some of our faculty that are with us tonight. Scott Mister. Where's Scott? There's Scott. Scott has been a faculty member since 1996. He's, I know, right? He's an Inamori professor of material science. Absolute research rock star. He's brought in over $10 million in funding. Just in the last year and a half, securing $2 million for our brand new TEM and $500,000 for our FIB. Just incredible capabilities that we wouldn't have without his hard work. He's an absolute pioneer in his field, which is in situ and in operando XRD. Over 180 publications, tons and tons of invited talks, and somehow he still finds time for all the service that I overload him with. He's chair of several of our departments, chair of our curriculum and teaching committee, and chair of our current search committee to hire 5 new faculty in engineering. So thank you very much, Scott. Also with us tonight is Dr. Amit Maha. Amit joined us in 2018. He's an assistant professor in mechanical engineering. He's an amazing mentor to many of our club teams and research teams, has an awesome advanced manufacturing class, and he's also served on our committee that's been reinvigorating our first year curriculum, and he's now teaching that course. So Amit, do you want to come up and say a couple words? Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Just wanted to give a brief highlight about our first year curriculum. It's a course that is primarily being focused in terms of exposing students to different curriculums that we have in engineering. So they get to take a look at glass science, they get to look at mechanical engineering, renewable energy, and all the different fields. And hopefully by the end of the semester, they'll have enough experience with different aspects of engineering that can resonate with their interest, and they can essentially take their career in that direction. So apart from that, I also teach a manufacturing course, which is very near and dear for me because I became a mechanical engineer because I was in a machine shop. And that is, it's such a rewarding experience just to be in the machine shop and see things being made by hand and use machinery and other things. So I want our students to get that joy and get that feeling of accomplishing something that is from an idea into something that they can essentially feel it in their hands. So with that, hopefully, we'll have some great time in the lab. All right, thank you.
Lauren Lake, will you introduce our folks from the arts?
Thank you, Beth Ann. I'm going off script, sorry. I want to first thank you for this. This has been really, really wonderful. I know I said that last night, but I'm feeling that today, and I really want to thank Greg for something that you said today at the end of the meeting that really talked about our time and the time that we put in. It just, when you said that, I really felt that you really understood the amount of time that we've all been putting in, and just want to thank you for that acknowledgement. I also want to, I have 2 students here tonight, but I actually have 3. Jojo Mayaki, who's been taking pictures, graduated with her BFA last semester. Sorry, Beth Ann. I'm like, I went 11 minutes versus 5, and now I'm doing this. And I don't drink, but I've had a glass and a half of wine, so there you go. Jojo was our BFA, our BFA, top BFA student who graduated last spring, and this year she's working for the university in marketing and communications, doing amazing work with animation and video, and she's also pursuing her MBA. But something that you won't know about Joyce is that I bought one of her pieces, thanks to Eric Bouchard, that's hanging in the Harder Hall lobby, which we've talked about a lot, and Mark keeps showing, and hopefully you got over to see there to see our hot pink chairs. But there's a very special flag hanging in the Harder Hall lobby. When you go in, it is the one of a kind, only in this region, flag that is made up of the entire VHS Dirty Dancing video. Now, I want to tell you, I mentioned earlier today a little bit about our new collaboration with Chautauqua, and at the Chautauqua Institute, I spoke about Joyce Mayaki's Dirty Dancing flag, and the curator there insisted that she had to have it, and I said, you have no idea what I paid for this flag, because Joyce obviously took our business of art class. But again, thanks to Eric Bouchard, I was able to afford this flag. Anyways, thanks for all you do, Joyce. Jojo. It is my pleasure to also introduce a very special student this evening, Mia Heinrich. I met Mia last year. I met Mia last year because she's also one of the students who showed up to help me figure out how to bring our students back together in Harder Hall. And Mia came and she showed up and worked with a group of 5 students, and then it grew into a group of 6 students, and 7 and 8, 9, 10, and just became a thing. But Mia has worked on that project. She has painted the bricks, and just so you know, if you paint bricks, you never can unpaint bricks. I have no idea how many people have told me that as part of the Harder Hall project. There's a lot of people who are anti-brick painting around here, and I'm very pro-brick painting. Thank you, Tim Heckman. Anyways, I got to know Mia because we met every Wednesday as part of the CoSpace team, and she taught me a lot about our students, and she taught me a lot about her experience. And she said, you know, Lauren, there's nowhere to sit. You're in these classes with all this amazing equipment, but there's no place to sit. So sometimes when I'm walking, I just have to sit on the floor. So anyways, we obviously fixed that problem. Mia is a 2023 graduate will graduate in 2023 with her BFA. She's originally from Dayton, Ohio. She is a Marlon Miller scholar. She enjoys many co-curricular activities, including being an honors ambassador, attending open houses and first-year experiences events, and she's also an RA. After she graduates, she plans on attending graduate school, and she said that what she really loved about coming to Alfred Art School is not having to settle on one specific media right away and getting to experiment and explore. So, Mia. It is also my pleasure to introduce to you Lucas Perry. Lucas Perry will receive his BFA in 2023. He is a Miller Scholarship recipient, and he grew up in Germany. After graduation, Lucas plans on pursuing an MFA or an MBA, and he would like to work in higher education administration, specifically Alfred University. I call Lucas the closer. Lucas works on our admission team, and any time that Lucas gives a tour, the student comes to Alfred. Mark, you know this is true. There's been a lot of talk over the past 2 days about bonuses for people who close deals. Lucas Perry is a closer. Lucas is the head student ambassador in admissions with a focus on arts enrollment. He works on our new logo, which you all received today. Thank you, Lucas. He also he is the lead on the Fiat Festival next weekend, and that came out of Mark and Gabby's class. Wonderful. He is the co-founder of Alfred's Queer Art Collective, and this fall he launched a new gallery in the Harder Hall, second floor, called the Redinger Gallery, and he may speak about that. So, Lucas, the floor is yours.
All right, I was told I have a minute, so I'll talk quick, but I want to first thank Lauren for giving me the opportunity to speak tonight and inviting me here. I also want to thank Dr. Marlon Miller for the Miller Portfolio Scholarship, as it allows me to really pursue my passion here, as well as the entire Board of Trustees for having us here this evening and everything you really do for making this school possible and helping us pursue our dreams. I transferred here about 1.5 years ago, and my first semester at Alfred was cut short with COVID. So I had about 4 weeks on campus, and then I was sent home and did everything virtually with no access to my professors or anything like that. And right when I came back, I applied for a student ambassador position in enrollment with Jonathan, and was able to join the team as a student ambassador, and since then have really been full speed ahead with a lot of amazing projects and people here at Alfred. Lauren mentioned some of them, but I've been able to work with Lauren on CoSpace, creating a space for our students within the art school, and up with Caitlin Brown on the logo. You took all my content I was gonna talk about, Lauren. And like she said, Festival with Gabby and President Zupan, and all these amazing projects. And what I've realized, and what I say to our tours always, is you can find a school with a bigger campus, you can find a school with less hills, you have to hike to class. That's easy, but you can't find a school with better people who are more driven or passionate about what they do. I'm really lucky to be here, so thank you all.
Thank you, Lucas. This evening I have 2 faculty, Colleen Wall. Colleen Wall is Associate Professor of Music, where she is the Associate Producer of the Marlon Miller Dance Residency Program, which brings dance to the Alfred community. She also co-founded the Boxing Club as a place to explore physical strength and power. Colleen states, "What I most relish about the Alfred University community is the commitment to creativity, combined with grounded, rigorous, and playful work ethic that permeates the culture here." Colleen permeates space in a really infectious way When you're in a meeting with Colleen, she is an active listener, and she is an active cheerleader and supporter of her colleagues and her students. Colleen uses the word generative more than any other person I've met in my life. And she means it because she is generative. Colleen's research focuses on applying the Laban-Bartnev movement, studies to shed light on how movement is meaningful throughout our human lives. Writing is a significant form of her research. Her book, Laban-Bartnev Movement Studies Contemporary Applications, integrates the Laban theory with an embodied and practical approach that encourages the reader to gain new awareness of movement in their everyday experiences. She also co-authors a monthly article for integrated movement studies. Outside of Alfred University, Wald co-directs the Integrated Movement Studies, a graduate certificate program. Wall holds a master's degree in Fine Arts and Dance from the State University of New York at Brockport, a master's degree in Liberal Studies from the State University of New York Empire State College, and a bachelor's degree in Dance and Arts Education from William Smith College. She is a certified Laban movement analyst through the Integrated Movement Studies, a registered somatic movement educator through the International Somatic Movement Educators and Therapists Association, and a personal trainer certified by the National Academy of Sports Medicine. But there's something, while we're on the topic of closers, that Caitlin really, so many great people. Colleen taught us last year that was one of the most helpful things. I mean, we were all Zooming. And Colleen said, I have a way that I want to finish this meeting, and I've come up a way to kind of come to a close, right? Because you just don't know when to get off. And so Colleen says, 1, 2, 3, and then we do this. So we say 1, 2, 3. And it's this beautiful way of closing and finding closure in those meetings. And so we do that in the art school, and it's just really wonderful. It's generative. So thank you, Colleen, for your generativeness. Okay. It is my pleasure to allow to the stage in just a moment Joanne Quinones. Joanne has joined us as an assistant professor of sculpture focusing on mixed media. She has been working since prior to her start on rebuilding our fiber studio and really thinking about how she can bring her expertise from mixed media to our students. So she's kind of occupying this new space in the School of Art and Design that's really exciting. Joanne has both studied and taught English for most of her academic career and left Earlham College, where she was an associate professor after receiving her MFA, to join us at Alfred. I believe she had been at Earlham for 18 years-ish, yes. We are very lucky to have Joanne. I think I mentioned earlier that we had over 140 applications for her position. Joanne is a mixed media artist working primarily in fibers and ceramics. Their work focuses on African American and Caribbean history, as well as the intricacies of Afro-Latinx identity. They were selected as an emerging artist of 2020 by Ceramics Monthly, a Manifest Gallery Annual Prize finalist, and received an honorable mention for the James Renwick Alliance Chrysalis Award. Their work has been shown nationally, including the 2020 NCECA annual exhibition, The Burdens of History, the Belger Arts Center, and the Akron Arts Museum. They have an MFA in Studio Art from Indiana University, Bloomington, and a PhD in English from the University of Iowa. They have had residencies at the Vermont Studio Center, a very prestigious residency, and were selected for participation in the very, very prestigious Arts Industry Residency in Foundry at the John Michael Kohler Art Center in Sheboygan, Wisconsin. Welcome, Joanne. Thank you so much. Lauren also told me 1 minute, so I planned. I just wanted to talk a little bit about what a great honor and a privilege it is. I'm very thankful for the trust that's been instilled in me. I had the little midlife crisis and went from teaching English to wanting to go get an MFA, and I'm very thankful for all the faith all my colleagues and Lauren have placed on me. So I am in the process of building the Fibers Mixed Media Studio. I hope if you're on campus, you get a chance to take a look at it. We've been working really hard. So there's basically three things that's my vision for the Fibers Mixed Media space. One is to revive papermaking on campus and really building off of that tradition that was established by Diane Cox. I'm very fortunate to have beautiful equipment, and I feel a deep stewardship, a need to steward that carefully. The second thing is to really introduce technology as a part of our fibers and mixed media material exploration. So we have computers in our lab, we have laser cutters, engravers, and I'm exposing the students to as much sculpture software such as Rhino and Blender and all these things as possible. And I think the last thing is trying to have a commitment to sustainability. And so one of the big projects that McCrae and I are in the process of doing is proposing a dye garden on campus so that we can grow our indigo, our coreopsis, our weld, our madder, and actually let the students see the whole process so that they're not sort of alienated from how hard it is actually to put color on cloth. So thank you so much for this opportunity.
Just got to fix this quick. Sorry, folks.
Hey, Dan. Bob Stein, the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences.
Hello, we have two students from our college that I want to introduce tonight. The first is Charisma Patrick. Charisma is a junior. She's a political science major, and in my 17 years here, she's one of our favorite political science majors. She's just an amazing student. She's super quiet, and you see that first paper that she turns in, and you're blown away. And then you start calling on her because you know she's going to say incredible things in class. She's also a communications major. She's in our honors program. She's now doing an incredible job at the CDC as an intern, and she's a writing center tutor. Oh, and also, sorry, one more thing. Charisma was inducted into Pi Sigma Alpha, the Political Science Honor Society, as a sophomore. I don't think I've ever seen that before. The other student I would like to introduce is Cashel Scipio. Cashel is a communications... Cashel is a communications major. She's also a business administration minor, intersections. And Cashel is a leader in the Black Caucus. And I don't know if Cashel realizes how important of a spokesperson she became on campus. She was an essential person for us as we worked through some issues a year or two ago. So Cashel, thank you very much for that. Cashel has also, from what I hear from Nick Schlegel, basically single-handedly brought AUTV back, and we're so happy about that. Cashel, would you like to come say a couple words?
Sorry, I have to shimmy over here. Hello, everyone. So, thank you again for inviting me. It's wonderful to be here and to be in front of all the trustees and finally see a face to a name. The Zoomies were a little weird, but we're here. So my name is Cashel Scipio. I'm a communication major with a minor in business administration, but my focus is media and production. I have a background in campus doing plenty of things, as we may know, including AUTV, which is our media production company, media production area. And right now we're in the process of creating our media hub, which is a beautiful aspect of AU. we may already know that the Fiat Lux has been the oldest run newspaper on this campus, which we hold dearly. But the Media Hub is a central attribute to this campus to really emphasize the students' lives and experience and really give the students abilities to really be a part of the production aspect of the workforce. So AUTV has been a big stepping point in my career and also a big stepping point in every other student's career on AU's campus. A few other things I've done on campus is also work at the CDC with my beautiful member as well. I worked at Cheryl's Closet as the styling coordinator. And I can't tell you how beautiful and wonderful it is to have the opportunity to style students like what we see here in business and professional wear and give them an opportunity to really feel as if they're ready to have that interview and communication and I really have the opportunity to have those real impersonable experience. One thing I do want to say is that I love AU so much. I am from New York City. Totally different atmosphere. Totally different atmosphere. But overall, it has immersed me. This culture in this school has immersed me in the idea that even though I'm part of the liberal arts and science, you can get a story from any school. You could connect that and bring business into communication, arts into business, into communication, the dance department into communication. Like, it's such a connective school, and I can't say that enough. So I really want to give a big thank you to this school for providing that opportunity to not only immerse ourselves in our curriculum, but also create, like, y'all always pick the right students for this campus. I don't know how y'all do it. So thank you. And I know y'all probably know me already from the Black Caucus and providing that opportunity. And I want to say thank you because I've seen the posters, I've seen the things that we have done from the list, that long document I've created throughout the summer, and the work I've put in to like really advocate for students that not only are of color, but of other ethnicities and culture and religion, but providing that opportunity to really see ourselves within our curriculum. That I can't say enough. Thank you. Like, thank you so much. So give a round of applause to y'all. And thank you again, and it's lovely being here.
Thank you, Kashal. We also have two faculty members from our college here. And the first I'd like to introduce is Dr. Desmond Wallace. Oh, you have to stand up, Desmond. So Desmond came to us from his PhD program at the University of Iowa about 3 years ago. And when he arrived, we discovered he didn't have a driver's license. He hadn't needed one before. But we knew he liked challenges when he moved 15 miles out of town. But the story there is just so Alfred. So there was like a consortium of staff and faculty and community members who went driving with Desmond, and in just a short 3.5 months, he had his driver's license. And he hasn't stopped driving since. But also, you should know that Desmond's an American politics person, so he teaches American politics for us. And we have incredible quantitative methods people on campus, but from our perspective, Desmond, who teaches political science, I don't think I said that, and I should have, he is our quantitative methods guru. So we are so happy to have Desmond here. I'd also like to introduce Dr. Likin Simon Romero. Where are you? There you are, Likin. Dr. Simon Romero, come on up. Yeah. Dr. Simon Romero is the chair of our math department. He's a gamer, but not that gamer kind of gamer. He's a board gamer. If you've been in Likin's office, you'll see there's no books. It's just board games. And they started a night with the math club, where the math club plays board games once a month? Yeah. And it's become a great feature for getting the students together and having them socialize outside of the classroom. If you see him after he speaks, you should be gentle, because his San Francisco Giants were robbed of a playoff position, and he's still recovering.
Thank you, Bob. Dean Stein told me that I have to keep my speech for 45 minutes. But, table 3 knows that I don't like to talk. So I'm going to keep it short to a minute, maybe. So Bob asked me to tell you a little bit about our teaching, or my teaching, but I'm going to speak in behalf of the Division of Mathematics and Computer Science. I like to start with a saying, a Taoist saying, it goes like this. It says, give a man a fish, and they will eat for a day. Teach a man how to fish, and they will never suffer hunger, or they will feast forever, or something like that. So I think that that's our philosophy, in particular in our division, is we're trying to develop critical thinkers, and we are big into active learning. We put our students to face problems and to try to develop solutions from those problems. It has been like a big problem in mathematics that the students feel alienated from mathematics. And the thing that we're trying to do here is for them to develop the methods for solving the problems, and to try to interact with the problems and try to figure out a way to solve them. We have different courses. Our main courses are calculus courses, and we are in the intersection. We are in CLAS, but we serve a lot of engineering students, actually. Wyatt, you were in my class a year ago, actually. And so what I always thought is that mathematics is like the core of a university, in the sense that if we develop a strong program in mathematics, our engineering students will be better and will be more prepared for what is up ahead. But also, mathematics has a strong relation with philosophy, and we have a strong relation with critical thinking, and if we develop that too, we can develop on the other side. One last thing that I wanted to say to you is that I have been in other institutions, and what I can guarantee you, and I think that is not surprise to you, that I haven't seen that many colleagues so committed to their students and for the learning of their students. So in behalf of me, I want to say to you that I am very happy here, and I am very, very, very excited to continue working with all these colleagues. Well, thank you.
So we also wanted to take this evening as an opportunity to recognize and thank Dr. William LaCourse. So Dr. LaCourse started teaching at Alfred in 1970. He is our Cruzen Distinguished Professor of Glass. He's won numerous teaching awards. When I received his CV, one of my assistants in my office went through and counted how many articles he's published, well over 100. And he's also received numerous grants, including one from the Whitaker Foundation, which became the beginning of creating the new MS degree in biomaterials. He's the co-founder of Saxon Glass, and whenever I think of Bill, I will always see him on the stage in Nevins doing his Bergen Forum, taking a glass and throwing it on the ground and watching it bounce. So that's the glass. He is also He has also been our familiar voice, the voice of the Saxons, announcing our football games since 1976. So Bill also, in honor of his decades, we've given him a whole 2 minutes.
I'm too old for 2 minutes. Thank you. What wasn't mentioned is that one of my greatest achievements has been that I was made the director of entropy here at Alfred. For a glass scientist, that's a real honor because glass scientists are actual masters of entropy. So the lack of laughter means that there's too many liberal artists here. So, at any rate, the other thing is I've heard Marlon, is it Marlon? Who was it? Marlon Miller, right? Yeah. I've heard that name mentioned several times here. I'd like you to know that Marlon, although he graduated from Alfred, I did not. I didn't flunk out, but I didn't graduate either. I was elsewhere. But Marlon and I joined Alfred in our current positions at the exact same time, the same year. So we've both been involved with about 50 years. And I'd like to say that we both donated the same amount of time. Yeah. But I have other connections with Alfred. I've got one now with Vasily, who my brother sent to us. But my hometown, if every other faculty member had convinced the same percentage of their high school class to attend Alfred University, we would be the state university, okay? Because my high school class, it started with my father, who was the valedictorian of his class. I was the valedictorian of my class. My father, there was 2 students, okay? In my class, there were 15, but it's gone downhill since then, and we had to take on foreign students to fill up the class so we could continue to collect taxes. And so Vasily is one of 2 students from Newcomb who are here this year. There's going to be another one next year. My nephew was here. My sister was here, and a couple other students from the high school here. And there's only 2 graduates per year, okay, from Newcomb that are American and that go to college. So, if you can get 50% of a high school class to come to Alfred, we're in good shape. My father, by the way, he got me interested in Alfred. He was at Alfred in 1940 as part of the Alfred State College, and he was the short order cook at the collegiate, okay? So I think that's the best connection to Alfred that you could possibly have. So I told Beth that I would be not only the shortest person here, but the briefest, so I'll say that.
Thank you, Bill. And you'll, in the near future, get an email. Aiden, who's in our MBA program, has this very innovative engineering undergrad student, Aiden LaCourse, now in our MBA program, and glass straws that can be emblazoned with a company or organization's logo. I think we're going to be using them on the admissions front. And they also, during pandemics, he's designed them in a way so that they're safe to use and they're more sustainable for the environment. And one very powerful intersection example, just a very dynamic future 2-time grad. And it's great to see so many past students, current students that we've intersected with. Alyssa DeMello, who's new to us this year, you probably saw in May. She was the one that was featured on the NBC Today show in the morning, where people were announcing May 1st what university they were going to be part of, and she and her family were featured. Victoria was also in Gabby in my class, and she was the one, the family runs a restaurant in Hornell, and one of their claims to fame is every Thanksgiving. They provide free meals for those that don't have access or deliver the meals. And during COVID, the family, even though they were challenged business-wise, still reached out and said, what can we do? And she was playing a pivotal role in the family to raise their game in social media marketing So great to see you back here on campus. We'd like to introduce, in closing, two staff, like we did last night, so you get a flavor, because it's faculty, it's students, but it's also staff that make Alfred the special place that it is. I never thought, and I knew the school's colors were purple and gold, but I never thought I'd dye my hair purple until came here and started working with Russ Phillips, who an incredibly accomplished basketball coach. 3 years ago took our team to the NCAAs into the second round, just a very dynamic group of young men. The values he looks for, that he instills. And then this past year we've been fortunate enough to land him in our advancement team. We already knew he was an accomplished coach. That skill set, he's going to go far in advancement too. Just a few months into the job, we're fortunate to have him already playing an integral role on that advancement team. So, and my commitment to the incoming players, either men's or women's basketball, that if we make it into the NCAAs, we'll once again spray paint my hair purple, which I did 3 years ago when the team went into the NCAAs. So Russ, come on up.
Thank you. I like the purple Chuck Taylors just as much when you were rocking those too. My first time actually at Alfred was got off to an interesting experience. I was assistant coach, youngest assistant coach at Hobart, so I got tasked with driving down to Alfred in the dead of winter to live scout a game. So the only advice I got was eat before you leave, because there's not going to be anything there when you get there. So I'm like, okay, so I'm coming down, it's dark, I don't know where the gym is, and I'm kind of driving around, I see it, but I can't get to the parking lot. So I try to drive up, and I'm driving around past the parking lot, and all of a sudden there's a statue in the middle of the road. And I'm like, that's kind of weird, there's a statue in the road here. And someone knocks on my window on the door and goes, "You're in the middle of a sidewalk right now." And so the statue was the King Alfred statue. So I eventually found the gym. When I was coming down to interview, that was my only, kind of knowledge of Alfred, and luckily it was daytime, so I could get where I needed to go. But it was pretty apparent right away on my interview that there was something special about Alfred. All the people were very genuine, and everyone took an interest and said hello, and you could just feel it. So when I was offered the job, I was obviously really excited. And my first order of business was, how can we express this to incoming students and make them feel like kind of, the magic or the specialness that is Alfred? And that was always something we tried to sell pretty hard, is just, if you feel comfortable and you like it here, trust us. It's going to be a great experience. It goes beyond the classroom. It goes beyond the athletics. It goes beyond the clubs. It's the relationships and it's the people. And the cool thing for me now, coming full circle and talking to people that have graduated 20, 40, 60 years ago, it's the same theme, and it's common. And they talk about the people that took a chance on them, or the people that believed in them, that allowed them to grow in their career or grow as a person. And it was very kind of a fun moment to see what we were promising and what we were telling people you're going to experience, people do. And that the essence of Alfred has stayed the same, and what's important, and that it's protected, and that it can really survive anything. Everything that we've all the different eras of Alfred, and then now the recent one with COVID, the essence of Alfred is protected and still the same. And so it's been really fun for me to see that, kind of full circle now. But I want to just kind of thank you all, play a huge role in that. And we're very appreciative, and I know a lot of times it's behind the scenes and done in different ways, but it makes a huge difference. It makes a huge impact, and our students are very fortunate, to be supported by a group like everyone in this room. So, thank you.
Our head facilities person, Jamie Babcock, was supposed to be here. He's battling a bad case of bronchitis, so here in spirit. But his right-hand person, who we recruited a few years ago, Tim Heckman's here. And cannot tell you how grateful we are to our facilities team. Short-staffed, it's one of those pinch points this year, just like our AU Fresh Dining team. The number of activities, whether it's helping Lauren and her team in redoing Harder Hall, whether it's redoing the first floor of the engineering school, the McMahon 2020 project, whether it's helping with the renovation of Oppenheim last summer in 3 months, and tending, if you've walked around campus to date, our grounds. We rededicated what was Carnegie Hall earlier today. It's now carrying the name Jordan Hall in recognition of one of our trustees at our table here, Jim Jordan, class of '72, and in honor of his parents for all he's done to beautify our campus. Just like with Russ, before Jim Jordan's recent philanthropy, every year somebody would end up close to the King Alfred statue with their car, going down the career alley, taking the wrong turn. We think that won't happen again due to the wayfinding and the better signage that Jim's philanthropy, among other things, has made possible. So we're grateful to Jim for that, but our facilities team really put in an enormous amount of hours. The last 18 months, I'm a big Gary Larson fan, the Far Side cartoonist. He's retired now. One of my favorites is one that shows a building that's labeled the Crisis Clinic, and the building's on fire, and it's going down a river about to go down a waterfall. And that's what it's felt like certain times over the last 18 months. As Tim can attest, the bizarre set of different things that they have had to deal with, but always there to the rescue and with good cheer. So Tim, come on up. Tim's our right-hand person to Jamie Babcock on our facilities team.
Thank you, Mark. So, taking care of Alfred has been one of our missions is to make sure that we're taking care of our customers. And one of the things that we started with is our customers are not only the people that are here, our facilities, our staff, the faculty, the administration, but the people that aren't here yet. The parents, the students that have yet to get here. And so what we're trying to do is create a university that really embodies who we are. My father who passed this last year, worked on Bids Merrill Hall. And so I'm very fortunate to be able to work here, and I'm very fortunate to be able to build and embody something that will last for a long, long time. So thank you.
So Carolyn, where's Carolyn Clark? I'm going to put you on the spot because we lost our board chair. You're our vice chair, and some closing remarks. I don't know where Greg was to.
Last time I was at this podium, I had to do a Hall of Fame speech. That's a lot different today. Well, thank you, Mark. I mean, as you know, every trustee that's here, we love this place. This place has been special since the moment we walked on campus. And every time, I say this every time I drive into Alfred, it's like, that emotion carries over you, and you just look at the campus, and the campus looks a lot different than when I was here. It's so much more beautiful and so much more grand, but it rushes back to you that almost like it was yesterday that you drove up in your parents' station wagon, or all your crap in the back of it. And you had to unload it, in a few minutes before you had to start soccer practice. And it's just a very special place. And I love these events because I see that next generation of students. I see the teachers and the faculty and the staff that are creating those memories for that generation. And it's just so special. And I look at these students that we've had and we showcased this evening, and I think like, what I've gotten in now? I mean, they are just doing amazing things, and the multiple degrees and the things that they're tackling, and the commitment that they have to the university, but also to the community is just amazing. So I want to thank you all for participating this evening. I want to thank you for your commitment to Alfred and all that you do on a day-to-day basis. And really, I know that you do it for the love of the campus and the love of the university. So just like us, we're here for you and we support you. And I can't thank everyone enough for this evening, the last evening, but I can't wait till the next time we're back on campus in May and we can experience this again. So thank you.